People are freaking out right now. Like, they're tired of having their constitutional rights taken away with a mandatory stay-at-home orders. Cities are suing the California governor so their people can go back onto their beaches again. Idiots. Like, I'll stay at home for the rest of my life if they tell me to. Who knows how to make the best choices for my health and my life? Definitely not me. So I'm more than happy to put my blind trust in power-hungry politicians and definitely uncorrupt groups like the World Health Organization. I think they know what's best for me because, like, they know me better than I know me. The last thing you want is people to have the freedom to make their own choices and then experience the consequences of their choices. I think free will is a little bit of a sin. I don't think we should have it in the first place. Like, you wouldn't give a razor blade to a 3-year-old because it wouldn't be in their best interest. So you shouldn't give freedom to people either. All these Americans that want their freedoms are just ungrateful. I say, if you don't like how things are going and you just want your freedom, then why don't you move to a free country like North Korea or Venezuela, you freaking heathens? Oh, I 100% buy into the narrative they tell me. I think it's ludicrous some people don't 100% believe the narrative like it's the absolute truth. Why wouldn't you? Think about it. If you were in charge of a giant, powerful business that pretends it's a charity like the World Health Organization, you wouldn't spend your time carefully crafting your message to manufacture consent with the public to get them to go along with your mysterious agenda that's in your best interest that you tell them is in their best interest. You'd probably just get up to the podium and have a spontaneous conversation and see what comes out of your mouth while you're riffing. I think that's what they're doing. That's why when Trump gets up there and talks about things like injecting Lysol, it seems so out of the ordinary because he spends months carefully crafting his message. I also find the more scared I am, the more unwilling I am to believe anything other than the original narrative that they told me that they're still telling me, even when new, more accurate information emerges. Like when USC did research in LA County a few weeks ago and showed the amount of people infected with COVID-19 is 28 to 55 times more than we originally thought. Yep, because most of these people don't have symptoms, it suggests the infection is far less dangerous than we originally thought. And in contrast to the original guesstimation of a death rate of 4.5% in COVID cases, the LA County Health Department says the new research suggests the actual death rate in COVID cases is between 0.1 and 0.2%. That means the actual death rate in COVID-19 cases is 22.5 to 45 times less deadly than we were originally told. But this new scientific data is irrelevant to me because it's like I already made up my mind when I was the most frightened. And I'm gonna keep believing what makes me the most frightened because it just feels more congruent in my being that way. I'll also spend a lot of time looking for information that they shove in my face that confirms my existing beliefs. There's nothing like a little confirmation bias to help my mind continue to learn and expand. I'm also really good at believing the COVID death count, as anyone who is diagnosed with COVID-19 and then dies, irregardless of what they die from, pre-existing condition or otherwise, their death is labeled a COVID death. Makes sense to me. Instead of letting the doctor who is treating the patient use their medical education to determine the cause of death, I think the mandate to label it a COVID death is more accurate. And it helps the COVID death count get higher than it is. And the higher it is, the more scared I am. And the more scared I am, the more obedient I am.
Yeah, here's what I think about your COVID-19. WHO can screw up too. So I'd like to give a big thank you to JP Sears, who does a lot of hilarious stuff. We played his entire video at the start of this. And just to let you know, JP, and I've been in contact with him before, not directly, but through our people. We tried to have him at this year's in Acapulco. If you get a thing from YouTube saying that that we've taken your content and it gives you an option to monetize this video, please do, feel free. In fact, anyone, if we ever use any of your video anywhere and you get that option, feel free to say yes, because we don't actually take the Google Alphabet corporation's blood money. And if anyone's putting out good work, wants to take the monetization from these videos, feel free. The problem is that our videos are being taken down at an incredible rate. We basically get an email about once an hour. We've had over 15 videos that we put up in the last few weeks removed in the last 2 days. Here's the latest ones. They took down the magic of mind control and how the whole world has been put to sleep. And then soon after that, they took down, we are quickly surpassing Orwell's 1984 in terms of propaganda, lies, and tyranny. And then another one, stunning new numbers, COVID numbers worse than thought. Lockdown and trust government and the media. Man, that last one, I was saying trust the government and lock down. I wasn't being very serious about it. I was being very sarcastic. But everything's being taken off of YouTube now. I saw, I think Max Egan, or no, it was another one. I know a ton of Maxes have been taken off. Pretty much anyone talking about truth about this stuff is taken off. So I'd like to say to my YouTube checker, the person who checks these videos, thanks a lot for supporting tyranny and making sure that no one can ever say anything about what they think on YouTube. And stick to the end of this video. We've actually got a whole bunch of solutions on how, if you're feeling a little bit like, man, I wish there was more I could do, I've got a whole bunch. So stay to the end of the video, and we'll also announce our new, and I don't want to say it too loud, these fact checker guys aren't very smart. In fact, they're incredibly stupid, but I don't want them to fully know about it. So I'm going to say it in a way that they probably can't understand. So there might be a way, and we fully support YouTube, by the way, in them taking down all our videos. We were against their guidelines somehow. I don't even know how, but we somehow were. Fully support them, but stick around to the end, because we might have another way for you to get these videos. And it's only been a couple months now since they started this complete terrorist attack on the entire world by the guy that looks the least likely to be Dr. Evil. It's a testosterone-less loser with a Kermit the Frog voice who wears gay 1980s sweaters with a collar. That's Dr. Evil. I never would have guessed, but there has been so much predictive programming that just nailed exactly what's going on. And there's just no way all these things are coincidences. It's just not possible. And people might say, well, how's this happening? How does The Simpsons know? How does the Family Guy know about the Boston Marathon bombing hoax like weeks before and do an entire cartoon on it?
Holy crap, this is awesome! I haven't felt a rush like this since I won that marathon.
I'm Bob Costas, here with Boston Marathon winner Peter Griffin. Peter, how did you do it?
I'll tell you, Bob, I just got in my car and drove it. And when there was a guy in my way, I killed him. Hey, guys, what football team should I like? Mahmood says we all need to act like we're fans of American football, so we seem less suspicious.
What? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about Mahmood. You know, I actually feel really bad for him. Do you know he knew 19 guys who died on 9/11? I mean, what are the odds?
Peter, I think you joined a terrorist sleeper cell.
What? That's crazy. Look, I'm going to call Mahmood right now on this cell phone he gave me. He'll tell you. Damn phone's busted. Maybe I dialed wrong.
Peter, please stop trying to call Mahmood.
This is very serious. Your friends are terrorists. Think about it. They're meeting in secret. They're creating cover stories.
Oh, my God, you're right.
Yeah, that went out a few weeks before the Boston Marathon bombing hoax, which was a hoax, that was down to like every detail exactly what happened. So how do they do this? Well, almost anything you see on your television programming or that comes out of Hollywood is all, at the very least, approved and overseen by the CIA. So there's varying levels of their involvement, but it can be right down to they write the whole script. And in many cases, they'll just say, oh, you have to change this, you have to change that, you have to put in this little predictive programming thing into this show. But here's a show from 2003, so 17 years ago, and it's called Dead Zone. I've never seen it, never heard of it, I don't watch television. And here's their plague episode.
All right, what's going on?
Just let me think about where to start.
Well, he saw something. What is it?
I saw a virus. I think some kind of disease.
A virus? Like what? Like SARS?
I don't know. All I know is that it's highly infectious and it may be fatal. Right now, we could all be infected. If we take this outside, we risk the whole town.
Johnny, how big is this gonna get?
I don't know. We just have to do everything we can to stop this, starting right now, Walt.
He's right. All right, here's what's gonna happen. We need to make sure that everybody that's inside stays inside. I'm gonna get a few deputies on it. We'll call it a lockdown.
Lockdown?
Well, until I come up with something better.
Walt, no. No, you cannot lock the school doors with...
This is for your family's safety.
Will I get sick too?
Maybe we should wear masks.
What difference does it make? According to you, we've already been exposed. Let's get one thing straight, Mr. Smith. I'm responding to political pressure. You have no reason to be scared. Let me ask you something, Amy. Animals. You been around any animals in the backyard, even, let's say, a skunk, a raccoon? I'm gonna swab the inside of your mouth with this little Q-tip, trying to get a handle on this animal. Damn efficient airborne transmission. Blood tests and swabs aren't telling us much. We know it acts like a virus. It causes high fever and respiratory distress. Tracking and treating a mysterious outbreak like this would take the CDC months.
We better get started then. For anyone who hasn't been exposed already needs to wear a mask.
China. Isn't that where flu viruses come from?
Yeah, a lot of viruses come from there.
International flight to China?
That's no coincidence. Whatever it is, it originated in China.
Time is not on our side.
It's like looking for a needle in a needle stack.
We have ruled out all the usual suspects. Influenza, SARS, bacterial pneumonia.
How long is that going to take?
Well, it took 34 days to isolate the coronavirus that caused SARS, and that's fast.
I'm authorizing a quarantine on everyone who's come in contact with a symptomatic person.
There's got to be something I can do.
On the enzyme, this virus leads when they were using
So the chloroquine did
malaria.
So the chloroquine.
The chloroquine.
This is it. This is your virus.
I'm sorry, but there's no cure for that. Chloroquine, that's an anti-malarial drug.
No. Listen, it suppresses the enzymes.
Welcome back, you damn fool.
What happened?
We started everyone on chloroquine, stopped the thing dead in its tracks. Now, the CDC would have figured it out eventually, but not in time.
So weird, right? It's just weird. Just a bunch of coincidences. And even speaking of that, Robin Williams, the actor, comedian type guy, who they said killed himself a few years ago by hanging himself from a doorknob with his belt, which isn't physically possible. They actually preluded his death on The Simpsons.
Damn these hands!
Mwah! Well, I haven't been to temple in a while.
Ladies and gentlemen, the doors.
Jogging. Running on it. Oh.
Grand, Boris, grand!
Oh, I'm a Mercedes.
And where are your papers? Are you from East or West Berlin?
Well, I'm from West Berlin, Pilgrim. Shut up! Stop riffing!
Jump, Forrest, jump!
Must be a leap year.
Time to lose some weight, dearie.
No more comedy.
Here's a little bit of a thing that Robin Williams actually had in his act about Bill Gates years ago.
Mr. Gates, when did you realize you were creating a monopoly? Monopoly's just a game, Senator. I'm trying to control the fucking world.
Now, talking about conspiracy theories, probably the biggest one up until maybe even 9/11 was the JFK assassination. That's actually when the CIA decided to come out with the term conspiracy theorist and put in all their media and in their movies negative connotations to it, because so many people kind of realized it wasn't what they said it was.
But this phrase, and people don't realize this, has been specifically weaponized by the CIA. And there's a memo about the weaponization of this phrase that dates back to 1967. So if you haven't seen this document, now you're going to learn exactly when this phrase, conspiracy theorist, became weaponized to shut down anyone who would question our dear, dear centralized government and its official narratives pretty much on anything. The dispatch itself is marked April 1, 1967, April Fool's Day, how apropos, and it's from the CIA's Clandestine Services Unit, and it's labeled Psych for psychological operations. So in other words, disinformation, okay? And the subject line is countering criticism of the Warren Report. And they open up by saying that people don't trust the Warren Commission. Considering Alan Dulles and wise man John J. McCloy were on it, I'm not really sure why anyone would. And public polls showed that 46% of America didn't believe that Oswald acted alone. Half the country didn't believe the government. They go on to say that that's particularly concerning, especially to the agency. If you go through this report, you'll see all these tactics they mention employing against anyone who publicly criticizes or questions the official JFK assassination narrative as a conspiracy theorist. The tactics they say to employ include discussing the publicity problem with liaison and friendly elite contacts, especially politicians and editors, meaning that the CIA admits that they have what they call friendly elite contacts in Congress and in the mainstream media, who will help push the official narrative onto the public.
Do you have any people being paid by the CIA who are contributing to a major circulation American journal? We do have people who submit pieces to American journals.
They also say they should point out parts of the conspiracy talk appear to be deliberately generated by communist propagandists. Employ propaganda assets to answer and refute attacks of critics using book reviews and feature articles that are particularly appropriate for that purpose.
Back and to the left from a lone gunman shooter in the library. It's like a Clue movie.
Back and to the left. Back and to the left. Back and to the left.
But I bring up John F. Kennedy because Robert F. Kennedy Jr., I've been aware of his involvement in what you could call the anti-vax movement, which is actually pro-freedom movement and pro-health movement. And I know quite a few people in those sort of areas. And they kept saying to me over the last year or so, you got to look into what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is doing. I think that's his name. Yeah, that is his name. And I didn't too much, but I came across some stuff he's been posting lately. And yeah, this is pretty good stuff. So I'm going to read what he just posted. I think this is on Facebook or something. Bill Gates wants to chip us, and not only for vaccines, for surveillance and transhumanism using 5G. I wrote last week about Malibu Police's ticketing point doom surfers, $1,000 apiece for using the ocean during the quarantine. Was this merely an appalling police judgment at which we will laugh post-quarantine? Or does anyone else feel that this is the first wave of compliance and obedience training for something more permanent? Are powerful state and corporate entities using the current crisis to remove basic rights and intensify pressures to promote vaccines and surveillance? Does anyone else feel the suffocating darkness of tyranny and descending on our nation? And finally, does anyone share my dread that Bill Gates and his mini-me, Fauci, will somehow be running our brave new world? I actually like that. He's kind of got a bit of my style there, calling Fauci mini-me. Fauci, by the way, I continue just look into him. Looks like he's a Jesuit.
The Jesuits taught you high school, college, Holy Cross, Regis High School in Manhattan. What impact, what does it mean to be taught by Jesuits? We hear about Jesuits all the time.
Well, it's a great experience, I have to say. They combine intense intellectualism with discipline, not in the sense of, smacking you around, but intellectual rigor, discipline in how you handle yourself as a person, as a human being. And they have a general motto of, and I think this had a major influence on me and what I did, is the issue of service to others. That's very big. That doesn't mean that people who don't go into public service are doing anything lesser with their lives, but they tend to have I wouldn't say a pushing, but a leaning towards something about what you do is public service. Either everything you do, which turned out what I did by going into public service, or at least a part of your life. So it was an interesting combination of concern for mankind as well as a good intellectual rigor.
If you don't know who the Jesuits are, look into it. But Robert F. Kennedy Jr. continues with some, actually I thought this was quite poignant because this is what's going on. He said, imagine a world where the government doesn't need police officers to apprehend those surfers or ticket you when you violate social distancing with your girlfriend. Suppose that computers discover your beach trip by tracking your movements using a stream of information from your cell phone, your car GPS, facial recognition technology, integrated with real-time surveillance from satellites, mounted cameras, and implanted chips. Desk-bound prosecutors or robots will notify you of your violation by text while simultaneously withdrawing your $1,000 penalty in cryptocurrency from your payroll account. Welcome to Bill Gates America. It's right around the corner. Yeah, I think he nailed it. That's what's going on. That's what I've been talking about. And like I said, I haven't followed Robert F. Kennedy Jr. too much. But I do remember seeing a few months ago, and I could be totally wrong on this, but I think his granddaughter died in a canoe accident or something. First of all, it's pretty tough to die in a canoe accident. I don't know, I didn't even look into it. I'm not even sure this is 100% true, but I'm pretty sure I saw that. And all I'm saying is if that happened, what are the odds that his granddaughter just happened to die just recently as he's speaking about this stuff in a canoe accident? It's pretty hard to die in a canoe accident. And I'm not laughing at his granddaughter dying. This is what they do. So anyway, I did want to just give some shout out to, I normally don't like anyone involved in the political system whatsoever. And obviously his last name's Kennedy. But every now and then, someone does some good stuff. It's sort of like with Peter Schill and his dad. His dad was quite a hero. He was a tax protester and he refused to pay tax, which is what everyone needs to do. And they actually kept him in jail until he died. So he was a hero. And then there's Peter Schill, who's like bashing Bitcoin every day. Like, talk about a disappointment. But getting back to what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was talking about in terms of what our near future could look like, in terms of a complete technocracy, police state, 1984 Big Brother, tracking you in every way possible. That is what they're working on. And in fact, they just came out, a company called Dragonfly, with a pandemic drone. And I have to give a shout out to Max Egan at the Crow House. If you don't know it, check it out. He does some awesome stuff. So this is where I found out about this. This company called Dragonfly has created a pandemic drone that will detect people infected with coronavirus. Yeah, kind of disturbing, right? Lucy's not that worried about it. She's like, I don't care what they try to do. I'm going to eat my tacos. I'm going to give kisses. Oh, there goes the person in a golf cart with a mask. There actually is so many people waking up. I've been meaning to do my video on it. I'm going to do it soon, but every day there's about 10 things that I just have to get out there that I haven't been able to put my really positive video out yet, which is very positive. Just look at Kill Gates' Instagram. There's hundreds of thousands or millions of messages all saying, go kill yourself, kill. Like, if I had an Instagram and every message was F off, you murderer, I hate you, you killer, I'd just take down my Instagram, I think, wouldn't you? like how deluded do you have to be that you've got millions of people all hating you? Like, he must be the most hated person on Instagram, easily. And he keeps it up. They actually delete, I hear, most of the comments, but there's still hundreds of thousands of comments. They can't keep up. Isn't there a way to turn off comments on Instagram? I guess not, because he would have by now, I would assume. But there is a lot of positive stuff going on. And I'm just really wondering how much longer people can take this. You know, I really think what it's going to take in a place like the US is for major food items to become either unavailable or super expensive. Because if you know a lot about the US, most people only really care about eating tons and tons of crap and watching sports. So they got to be getting close to having enough. It just shows how brainwashed and dumbed down and fluoridated in the drinking water. It turns off your third eye, so you become basically like a zombie. But I'm surprised most sports people, I even like sports, I like hockey a lot, haven't just like gone like crazy yet. But I think what could, we're gonna see, got something in my mouth there, some sort of fly. But what could happen is we're now seeing food shortages start, and it's going to be really bad in a lot of places. In poorer areas, we're going to be talking about famines. This is absolutely heinous what's going on. In places like the US, there's lots of food generally, but it is basically shipped in from all around the world, and most of those shipments have stopped now. They've shut down on purpose, Bill Gates, Kill Gates, a lot of the meat production facilities. And now we're starting to see, in the US, shortages of, right now, meat products. And the cost of beef, as one example, has skyrocketed. Like, I think about 300%. I think I have the chart. It's a huge amount. So I don't know how much longer people will stand for this in a place like the US, where they can't watch their sports, which is like the main thing that distracts people from how enslaved they are in the US. And they can't even buy like a steak or something and put it on the grill. They can't even have a barbecue or they get arrested by the cops. This could be the thing that kind of sets off people really rioting. And it's kind of funny because there'll be lots of good food still. If you have a garden, you can eat fine. But if your average American goes to the grocery store and they don't have most of his favorite meat products, and if he goes to McDonald's and a Big Mac costs $25, there will be riots, I would think, at that point. Because those are the main things. I guess if they turned off Pornhub, those would be the three big things that your average American guy, not everyone, if you're in the US or you're born there and you're watching this video, you're probably really cool. But you know how a lot of the other ones are. And if you turn off sports and they can't get access to all their favorite foods, I think they might do something. And that's really what they've been preparing all these troops for the unrest, which was laid out in the Rockefeller document in 2010 called Lockstep, which said they're going to institute a tyranny, global tyranny. They're going to disrupt all the food supply chains. And it says, in the face of something like citizenry pushback. So they're ready for it, and we'll see what happens. But that really could be the thing that finally gets some people to wake up. Bill Gates is a total asshole. Like, way worse than an asshole. One of the most evil people in human history at this point. Why on earth would you ever use any of his products? And I have to admit, I still use Windows. So one of the things that I've done is I've made it a priority to get off all Windows products as soon as possible. And actually I bought a PC that is made by a company called Librem, Librem. And it actually has its own operating system called Pure. And it's basically a super privacy focused computer. You can also get laptops, you can also get phones that have none of the Google stuff on it, none of the Microsoft stuff on it. So I bought that, and it's on back order. They've sold a lot. And I should get it in the next couple of weeks, and then I'll be off Windows. If you're on Gmail or something, get off that. Get off anything Google related. I'm off almost everything now, and it feels awesome. Because what you're doing when you use those products is you're supporting those companies that are very evil. You might remember Google started off with the "Don't be evil" was their slogan. A whole bunch of us were like, what? Why would they even say that? And then they took that slogan away a couple years ago. Gee, I wonder why. Because all they are is evil now. I would really recommend everyone get on encrypted email. And my favorite is Proton Mail. I think it's in Switzerland, protonmail.com. All your emails are end-to-end encrypted. No one could read them except for you and the person receiving them. Now, of course, if they're not on encrypted email, it won't be. But if they're on encrypted email too, so that's why you should tell your friends, hey, I'm not sending you email anymore if it's at Gmail. Stop using the devil's email system. If you're using things like WhatsApp, that was bought out by FBI Book a while ago. Start using other things. Telegram is definitely a lot better. And there's even one that's even better. And it's pretty new. But it is end-to-end encrypted and hardcore. It's called Keybase. You might want to look into that. And just start telling your friends, listen, I don't want to be on WhatsApp anymore. I don't want the government reading everything we write. And of course, get off things like ThemTube, who've taken down almost all of our videos now. Get on sites like Library or BitChute. And Library, by the way, I've looked into it a bit more. I know the guy who founded it. I actually interviewed him on my show, Anarchast. He was at Anarchapulco this year. But I didn't know exactly how it worked. But we've been talking a bit. And basically, if you download the app at Library, I think it's lbry.com. You download the app. When you start watching videos on that app, those videos actually save on your computer. And then if someone else wants to watch those videos, you're actually serving those videos. It's basically like a torrent. So if you would like to see a video service that runs really well, that nothing can be censored, then everyone right now should be running the Library app and watching videos using that app. In that way, let's just say there's 100,000 people watching this. Let's just say 10,000 people decide to do it. That would increase the network very dramatically. And the videos would be a lot faster to load and things like that. So again, most of these solutions is about you making changes. And if there's enough of you, then these become major changes. All of a sudden, Google's starting to notice, wow, our Gmail people are going down dramatically. Where are they all going? Proton Mail, where are they all going there? Or, man, YouTube numbers are way down every month. Where are they all going? What is this library? How do we shut it down? Oh, you can't? That kind of stuff. And like I said before, support any business that goes against the lockdown laws, and support them with your physical might as well. If you're in an area where you're allowed to have guns, bring your gun. If you're in an area where you're not allowed to have guns, I would still say bring your gun, but I know a lot of countries are super locked down, police states, but bring your baseball bat or whatever. Like, show the criminals, the cops, when they show up to try to shut down a business that's trying to just survive, show them that you have a way to fight back. That works a lot. And when you see companies like Costco, and they say everyone that comes in has to wear a face mask, boycott them, publicly boycott them. Put on their Twitter, I'm never shopping there, I'm just canceling my membership. Send in an email to the company. Because you're going along with these tyrannical orders, I'm never shopping at your store again unless you stop this immediately. That kind of stuff. That stuff works. We live in the age where this stuff is so easy now. In the old days, it was quite hard. All you have to send off is a few emails, few tweets. If the CEO of Costco, someone comes in his office and they go, we just got like 100,000 emails from customers, all of them who are members, and all of them say they're going to cancel their membership right now unless we stop this face mask thing. You watch how quickly they stop the face mask thing. We have the power, but we just have to do something. So download that flyer, hand it out, share these videos, and definitely share if it's on YouTube, share quick, because it's going to be down any hour now. We're basically, every hour another video goes down. So we're almost running out of videos for them to delete at this point. So they're almost caught up to the newest ones. We won't be on here for long either. And here's this little secret thing I was going to tell you earlier, and hopefully the YouTube fact checker, the little Nazis, hopefully they've stopped watching at this point. We've set up a second YouTube channel, and we're going to start posting our videos there, probably starting tomorrow. And it's called The Lucy and Jeff Show. And we've actually got some, we're going to have a new intro soon. We're changing this whole format. And so if this one goes down, if you type in on YouTube tomorrow, Dollar Vigilante, and it says no responses, make sure you go right now, and we'll put the link down below. I think you can just go to dollarvigilante.com/Lucy, or we'll have the exact YouTube link down below. And just subscribe to it and hit the bell icon. So when we start to put out videos there, you'll know those are there. If we ever get taken off of YouTube, we'll still be on YouTube. There's always a way. They can't stop us. You can't stop us, Kill Bill. In fact, now that we know who you are, a lot of us are looking for you, Killy. Yeah, you might want to be a little careful there, Kill. Won't be pies this time. But really, the way to get rid of all this stuff is just your action. Get off Google, get off Facebook, get off Microsoft. Tell your friends about this stuff. Get them using it. Get off WhatsApp, get on Telegram or Keybase. Just that alone changes the world dramatically. So you do have the power. That's the thing that most people never seem to realize. They never fully get it. You have so much power. That's why they want to control you so much. These evil people, they're sociopaths, they're psychopaths, and they look around, they're like, man, all these people are real people. They have like empathy and emotions. We need to like enslave these people because we don't understand them. And they're super powerful. If they knew what they could do, they could just get rid of us in a second. So we have to like put out nonstop propaganda, take down YouTube videos every second, censor everything, because if any of this gets out, they're toast. They know that. But it's time that you realize that and begin to take the power back into your own hands. Like Lucy. Where's Lucy? Lucy! I have to go to the chiropractor now. Super good for your health, by the way. If you've never gone to a chiropractor and you have any kind of health problems, that should be the first place you go. Don't go to a doctor. Lucy, where'd Lucy go? Lucy! Anyway, I checked with the whole family. They've never actually gone to the chiropractor. Oh, there she is. Lucy, how are you so sneaky?
I just didn't hear you. I was over there. I thought I saw an apple tree. You know I love those apples. I also love those tacos. So if you're about done the video, let's go get some tacos and I'll supply the kisses.